Welcome back to Freedom to Learn podcast. My name is Gurumurthy Yeleswarapu, founder and CEO of Siliconvalley4u. Yes, we are at a different episode. Happy New Year to everybody. And this is our first episode of 2025. And so today I'm with somebody special whom I knew for, let's see, 20 years or even more, or
Yeah,
15 years,
20
maybe.
years.
I don't know. 20 years it shows reflects on our age, unfortunately. Um, and who's been a veteran in the semiconductor industry, angel investor, and also he's very into a lot of physical activities. I got inspired watching you running, and now thanks to you I'm into running. Just I used to watch you running marathons, and um, and let's see, I know you used to conduct some of these events, running events for ICC and things like that. So in that sense, you do a lot of charity events as well. So I see that in
Yeah,
Savathon,
yeah.
and also entrepreneur, which is self-explanatory, and also board advisor. So he has a lot of titles, and most importantly, very, very nice human being. And at least that's what I've been told. And I also have first-hand information. So with that, I'm gonna invite Satya to our podcast. Welcome, Satya.
Thank you, Guru. I think the way you introduced me, I think it is the feeling is mutual. I get a lot of inspiration from you because you have been not only in uh, the social environments but also in professional environments. You have done wonderful, and the things you have done is very, very encouraging, and it motivates a lot of people. And when I heard about this podcast, that is also another endeavor you have taken, and I have heard a lot of those things, what you have already recorded before and interviewed a lot of people, and that has inspired me as well. So thank you, thanks for introducing and
Thank
bringing
you,
me to
sir.
this.
Thank you for your kind words. So main purpose is like, you remember we used to have a lot of these gatherings, and whenever you get together, we all meet, we talk about a lot of things. Many times I used to wonder, how come I didn't know this? So all the time there is always something, man, Jesus, I didn't know this. Simple things. They're not very complicated ones. It's fairly simple things. But so that led me to this this whole journey of what I'm doing, and that includes podcast, to empower youth to understand the priorities. And
Yeah.
once you understand, then in most of the times things fall in place, and because you're driven and you have clarity, and you, most importantly, you know what you want. Once you know what you
Yes.
want, uh, you know, you can reach your potential, if not the best in the world. And uh, my general idea is that, many times people try to figure out what they're good at and what they want. In that discovery process sometimes takes decades, and then
Yes.
so you end up in this pitfall of not knowing what to do. So anyway, that's the thanks for taking your time. So now let's, for all our listeners, why don't you explain how your journey started, from India, how you ended up in US, and what brought you to US, and then how you evolved to this point. So I let you take the floor.
Thank you, Guru. Yeah, like uh, I think the way you have been capturing the journey of people, it certainly helps somebody to understand what situations one has gone through, and if they have ever have to go through that kind of situations, probably they will know what to look for and how to take advantage of the situations and make it better for themselves. So I started like not with a silver spoon in my mouth, but we were my dad was a textile engineer. He had a textile mill and other things for himself. And when I was born, because of his health, all that disappeared and he had to restart his life. And that itself was a lesson for me that, okay, when you have everything and when you don't have anything, and then how do you start, right? So that kind of situation I was born. And it was good. Like when even in primary school, we used to have a tough time to feed the family. So I used to go and sell popcorn made at home and go door to door and sell, and that kind of situations we had. And I used to sell lottery tickets, and I became a insurance agent at age 18, LIC agent, because my dad was in the insurance business and he was retiring by the time I became 18. And uh, they requested, hey, somebody should follow that. And I became an agent while I was doing my BSc. I could not get into engineering college in the same city we were living, and going anywhere else where I got the admission was very difficult because we had to pay 10,000 rupees and we did not have that money. So I had to start BSc, and then I started to sell insurance policies to,
Wow.
and that was in the pre-university. I was 18, and then I started to sell those things. And uh, looking back, if I had somehow managed a few more percentage of marks, maybe I would have gotten in the same city, and I would have been a professional engineer right from the beginning. But uh, I have never regretted whatever has happened to my life so far, because after that, I went to Madras to study the computer science uh, diploma, postgraduate diploma course in computer science. And I studied that and came back to Bangalore. And there was a company called Processor Systems India. They were a premier research organization, and they were doing a lot of development. The people who founded that company, they came from Stanford, and they migrated to India back, and started to build computers, mainframes and minis, and that type of environment. And I joined there. I went there for interview, and they asked me a lot of questions, and I did not know anything about microprocessors and microcontrollers and hardware. And I studied computer languages, thinking that, okay, computer science was those days, they used to teach business administration, business programs, and financial programs, and that kind of things we had to develop. But when I started interviewing there, they asked me those questions. And my brother, my immediate older brother, he's an engineer, and he taught me some things at home, saying like how microprocessors work and how to program them and what you can do with that and that type of things. And I put all my heart into learning that for the second interview. By that time, I knew what I was planning to do with myself. And in PSI, they had about 12 engineers from UVC and other major institutions in Bangalore. And I was the only one with no formal engineering degree coming there into that group. And when I joined that group, they gave us 1 month of training. And there, I was the only one who was exposed to the computers, literally. and other engineering students, they did not have computers in those days in the college, so they were only theoretically studying. So I could do more than what others were able to do that time using Commodore 64, where we were supposed to develop some video games to start with. And this is how my first job started. And
Yeah.
I
No,
had I
yeah,
had
go
no
ahead.
idea
Sorry.
what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
So
what I was saying, right? Like, I mean, I can relate to it pretty much, first of all, congratulations, because probably you didn't know when you were going through all those that they were, difficult times. But when you look back, I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. I grew up in a small village where I studied in Telugu medium. I didn't know any better. We were eight people in one room. Now I have six bedroom. We are two people. You see what I mean? And, but I didn't know any better. But I was very happy too. But long story short, but the point is that everything you explained, the world has decided your life. Companies decided your life, meaning your career. When I say life, obviously career is major part of our lives. And this, you joined this company, and then they made you do this, and then you joined the other company, and then boom, and then finally one fine morning you realize that this is who I am.
yeah,
Although maybe probably if you had gone back 5 years, which is not possible, maybe you wanted to do something different, maybe, and you'll never know. And same with me, like this company, that company, I became a networking engineer. I never had subject networking in computer
yeah,
science.
I know.
So,
Like
uh,
it takes you places, and you have to take advantage of those situations, right?
correct,
Like
but I guess,
while I
yes,
was studying, I still used to do this, go for interviews, uh, trying to become a airman, airman
great,
recruitment things, and then bank recruitment. Whatever opportunities were there to
great,
support the
great.
family, I had to do, and so I used to go and
Absolutely,
do those things.
absolutely. I vividly remember I wrote exam for Hindustan Copper Limited, public sector company. I got selected. I went to the debate. I got through it. Final interview. The question the guy asked, "We don't have computers. What do you do?" So you are coming from computer science background. We don't have computers. But I'm desperate for a job. I'm telling him I'll study manual processes. Eventually, one day you'll get the computer. When you get the computer, I'll have all the documentation ready for you. Yada yada yada. That guy is like cutting me off and saying, "We are not going to have computers. What are you going to do?" So,
Yeah.
I'm a chemical engineer. This is what I do in HCL. You're a computer guy. Why are you come? I think he's trying to help me. He's telling
Ah.
me that don't come here. But the way I'm interpreting is this guy is trying to give my job to someone else. And you know how, back in India, it's, struggle for existence, right?
Yes.
There were what? I was seventh rank in the written test, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Um, and then they interview, and there's debate. I still remember, should we abolish capital punishment? I didn't know what capital punishment was. Somehow I got in. I understood me in the middle of the debate. I got in and then said something. They said, "Okay, you are selected." And then I went to final interview. That guy says, "We don't have computers." So I tried to convince him left and right, and finally they didn't select me, which is the best thing happened in my life. I think he meant the right things for me, but at that time it's very hard to. So, like you said, because back then, public sector job
Yeah.
is like a very secure job. You can pretty much relax for rest of your life. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, and my I guess the reason I'm bringing up is that, for this, in this day and age, for youth, they can see, and they have all the information in front of them to figure out what really works for them. What do I want to do? Who am I? Am I a
Yeah.
marketing guy? Am I a program manager guy? Am I a software guy? Or maybe a something completely different, real estate guy? Um, so whatever that may be, you can try it out and then see where your heart is at, and then try to proceed. is
Yeah.
the gist of what. So with that in mind, now my next question to you, Satya. So the guys that are coming out of these colleges, compared to our time, although things evolved so much, Gen AI, yada yada, all these things are happening, but the world, the colleges didn't change much, and people that are coming out didn't change that much.
Very true.
So how do you, what do you tell them, in terms of all their priorities, not just in job, right? That's the only thing,
Mhm.
job, job, job. Okay, job is great, but outside of it, your fitness, both physical and mental, understanding the social systems around you, understanding, simple things like how to be part of the team, how to,
Yeah.
how to be part of the group, social group, and
Yeah.
the emotional IQ, yada yada, all these buzzwords, leadership, all these things we use.
Yes.
Um, what would you like to tell them based on your experience? Hey, focus on these three things, and then you can bring, build your life, slowly, and then you add more things to it.
Yeah, that is very good point. I do not know how it was if I had not been interested in running right from the childhood days. I would have been doing something different completely, which may not be useful for me, or maybe my health wouldn't have supported me all through my life. And as a school student and high school and college, I used to run and run and run by myself because I did not have many gears to go and play other sports. And running is the simplest for me. I just go and run. And I used to run outside the city and go all over the place and come back. And it was getting me into the Zen zone. And I was enjoying that. I didn't know what it meant, but I was just running. And in the college, they, uh, in the annual report, they announced like always on the runway. That was me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And uh, for running 10K, you have to run so many rounds in the stadium. So the teachers used to count individuals because they go more than once and cross on the next person, and they cannot finish all one time, right? So people, all the professors and lecturers used to ask for taking my circles because I finish faster and go away, and others have to sit there for the remaining people to finish their rounds. So that put me into health and fitness, and that became a passion for me, and that continued throughout my life, even till today. And
Mm.
uh, as long as I live, probably I will be doing the same thing. And that has helped me, like, the way the Gurukulas used to teach people, they did not teach them the meaning of anything before, right? They
Right.
taught them lot of phrases, lot of hymns, and lot of things from the shlokas and all those things without teaching them any meaning. That is because you have to recite, and it becomes familiar on your tongue. And when you grow old, when you say that, it becomes very easy to understand what it is. So
Yeah.
putting all that effort right in the beginning helps you grow any which way, and you can mold yourself into whatever you want to do, right? It is basically the way of learning. That's what is most important. Like if you know how to learn, you will learn anything.
Yeah. Yes.
So that is the key to success, because once you get the bug of learning things, then you start learning whatever is interesting to you.
Correct.
It doesn't matter you have gone to one school with one subject or two subjects or something,
Right.
or you join some company and work on certain things, but whatever is your interest, you will carve out some things because you know how to learn. And
Absolutely.
situations gives you opportunities to direct yourself into learning certain things and new things.
Absolutely. So basically, what you're saying is learn how to learn. Basically, so
Yes.
learn how to learn. First of all, I mean, you're either lucky or somehow you found your niche of running, so that made you physically fit. I know, I used to see you
Yeah.
running. I mean, and I'm not kidding. I used to tell about you many, many times. And now I got the bug and I also run, knock on the wood. Hopefully I'll continue for some time.
Yeah.
Um, I know how great I feel being fit. Not just running, I mean other things as well, right? So point
Yes.
I'm trying to make is that a lot of times schools, unfortunately, this is my take on it, they force you to learn certain things like math, physics, chemistry, yada yada, all these different histories and whatnot. They never force you to make sure that you do 20 push-ups, and they don't force you, hey, did you eat proper diet? They never
Yes.
force you if you did meditation, or at least condition your mind however you do it.
Yeah.
They don't do that. See, in other words, my so I learned so many subjects that I never use. I knew when I was learning I never going to use. For instance, I did welding.
Mhm.
Why am I going to weld? I'm doing computer science. So I did welding. Why am I doing welding? Because they said you have to be a well-rounded engineer, whatever that means. Why am I welding? So, but instead they should have taught me, hey, do push-ups.
Yeah.
And that would have, right now, I'm okay, knock on the wood. There are so many folks of our age and they are asked to do certain physical activities due to their medical reports.
Yes. Yeah.
And then,
That's where they
and
go
these
to
guys
get.
never did one, not even once in life. You know how many people can run now? No, they can't because it's too late, and
Yeah.
they're on medication. They any problem, yeah, throw another pill in it. So
Yes.
it's not their fault. Point
I
I'm
know.
making, it's
It's,
not their fault.
yeah.
They were told, get this GPS, go and make hell lot of money and go to this job, go to Cisco, go there, go here. Nowadays Nvidia, all these, it's all good. Don't get me wrong. Make hell lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Please make a lot of money. At what cost?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I think that's the reason I was asking. Purpose of or one of the purposes of podcast is to make these guys understand when they're still in schools that you must do this every day. It's
Yeah.
not about, I'm gonna do, like I sign the membership in the gym and do a couple of days. January 1st, everybody shows up.
Resolutions.
That's the end of it again next year. So, and the other one is the awareness, right? For instance, in your case, for instance, for whatever reasons you stopped working out or not running and all that, and then for obvious life reasons, one fine morning you were told or you decided that, hey, I got to get back because, I'm losing my
Mm.
health. I'm not doing very well. You know how to do it. You have done
Yes.
all your life.
Exactly.
Many people don't even know how to do it, and they can do it. It's a mental thing. Just forget about it. You have to be
Yeah.
extraordinarily strong mentally to
Yeah.
get back into it, which is very rare. And
That brings me to recollecting my memory of however busy I was. Like I used to work um, for 60, 70, 80 hours a week, day in and day out, but never fail to take a running break in the middle of the day, right? Everybody used to go for lunch. I used to go for running.
there you go, sir. That's it.
Like the reason I wanted to do that was because I can be refreshed completely for the taking of the next biggest task in my work. Like
Yeah.
I can refocus myself very good if I finish my run. It became so important that it was like my meal is running. Like if I don't get the running, I cannot survive. It
Yeah.
has become like that. And that's how it should be. Like you have to carve out that time for yourself, and you can think of all your problems, whatever you are trying to solve in the work while running. It's not that
Yeah.
okay, you are taking 2 hours off or 1 hour off running uh, when you have so much of busy time. No, like your thinking becomes much more clear and
Yeah.
you focus much clearly when you are fit.
See,
And when
great.
you're
I
running, that
appreciate
gives you
that. I
that.
appreciate that. The reason that's so important, the statement you gave for young folks, I'll tell you why. For us, for older folks, when your metabolism is on decline, and you realize you must do it to improve your metabolism, when your metabolism is very high, when you run you don't see the difference because you're a 23-year-old guy
Yeah,
and everything is going full swing. Hey, if I run, did make any difference? It doesn't know that it does make a difference.
it does. It does.
It
Very
doesn't
important.
know that. That's the point. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Second thing is, you are absolutely right. I always say that there is no such thing as busy. It's all
Yeah.
about priorities.
Yes.
End of story.
The busy person has time for everything.
The Tata CEO, I forget his name. I was watching his interview. He runs almost every day or 3, 4 times a week, 5 miles, which is 9 kilometers. I forget. He runs 9 kilometers if I'm right.
Hmm.
I mean, he's the CEO of the whole Tata's group. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's busy.
Yeah. Everybody has to carve out that time for workout. It can be running, it can be
Priority, that's it. If
anything,
once
right?
that becomes priority, see, do you brush in the morning? Yes, you do, right? And
Yeah.
even if you skip one day, I hope not, but you brush next day. Point is, there are certain things you must do. One of them
Yes.
is working out, diet,
Yeah.
and also conditioning your mind somehow. However you
Yes.
do it, meditation is standard technique people use, and so these are the things, right? Like I said, you're lucky enough to identify your skill, and luckily you are able to run all your life. That made you look at you now. So that made you so fit, and you're still going, right?
Yeah.
So now the other one more aspect of this priority is understanding finance,
Mm-hmm.
and also general idea of investment, because when you are a young fellow, usually unless you are born with silver spoon, you don't have a lot of money to invest. But the thing is, understanding investment, even if you have $100, $1,000, is very, I mean, understanding those concepts, like where do you invest, real estate, stocks,
Yeah.
mutual funds, and blah blah, all those things are not taught. And unless you're MBA finance, you don't know anything about finance. I knew only two rules in finance when I got out of my education: put everything in the bank, don't spend anything. so so those
Yeah.
are the two rules. Like, in my village, what else so, and I didn't even know what the difference between checking and savings and all that. None of those. I mean, they said interest rate. Okay, I put CD. Okay, I put it. So I guess, can you talk? I know you are, you invest, you are into real estate now, and you bought a vineyard, and you also, invest in companies. Um, Most probably you have stock portfolio. And so, long story short, can you just give some idea of, how much, or, like, just like any journey, right? The importance of understanding finance, regardless of what degree you're doing.
Yeah. During my first job, we in the PSI in India, I worked there for 4 years, and I made friends with the people who have that kind of habits, like investment habits, right? I used to sit and uh, I used to go for walk with them and ask them those questions. And then they started to make a group of people who invest in some stocks. So I said, hey, can I be part of that? Because saving is one of the things which has to come from very young age. Uh, if you don't, then you have to put a lot of efforts when you're older to make yourself independent, like financially independent, right? So I got into that habit because I was selling insurance policies and all those things. That was again a saving for the future, right? So there are so many different vehicles available for saving, and that is one of them. So I used to teach people and I used to sell policies and all those things. That gave me information about how to save for the future. And uh, we have to start understanding what is the biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah.
And you have to start refocusing and rebalancing your thoughts and investments accordingly. You cannot be, when you're very young, you cannot be very conservative. You have to take bigger chances because you have so much time to learn and so much
Yeah.
time
If
to
you lose,
accumulate,
you lose, right? You
right?
lose $1,000.
Yeah,
It's
if you
not end
lose,
of the
you can make again. Like you have
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
So that was the most important part, which I started to put money into that type of like stocks and things like that. And every day it goes down and up, and it doesn't matter. And when I lose, I lose, and I learn how I lost that money. I learn, okay, these are the things I need to watch out, right? So you will start to understand the fundamentals of the companies. You'll start to understand how the money moves and how it grows, and how to diversify yourself into protecting your investment to grow. Like that type of things I started to learn from experts uh, by attending some of those insurance trainings, as well as talking to my colleagues who are
Yeah.
doing that kind of thing. And when I started my own company in Bangalore, like with a partnership in another person's presence in Singapore. And I had to manage the entire company's finances together with selling the computers and motherboards and BIOS and many other things, right? So that time I had to identify how to retain that money for like how to take the profits and where to put that money before it comes for the next use of that money, right? So I used
Yes.
to put them in CDs and uh, short-term investments so that it makes money, not just parked in the bank. So
Yeah.
when you're running a company, you have to think of all those things as well, like how to deploy your finances.
Money has to make money,
Yes.
basically.
The most important part of learning how to invest is, or why to invest is, when you are sleeping, you should be making money.
That's right.
If you have to do something to make money, then when you retire or when you're hurt or when you're sick, there is no money.
There is no money. It's going to stop.
Yeah. So you have to earn money when you are sleeping.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is the concept, and I kept doing that. In Singapore, again, when I joined that company, when I moved my company to Singapore, there, we were hand to mouth, and it was so difficult when one day I saw my savings account went to 10,000 Singapore dollars. I was so thrilled and I screamed myself, like, wow, I had never seen that many zeros in my
That
account.
very zero.
So it was 10,002 or something when I credited my paycheck, and I was ecstatic. Then I started to put some money into some stocks there itself, and started to accumulate different kind of stocks and entering into that kind of market. And by the time I came out of Singapore, I was already able to identify how to get the startup stocks and work for a company where you can get some options, and you can get some allocation of stocks and do that type of things. And I sold my company to a US company here, and I came to take some
Oh,
projects.
nice. Yeah.
And when I came here, I sent a couple of engineers for my team, and I came here to take a project and go back. When I came here, that company got sold to another company. So they said, "Hey, would you like to join this company?" I said, "I don't know. Like, I have a company in Singapore, and I'm doing this job for you." And we were doing the chip design for them, video scaler chips. And I told them I will do this. Then they gave me an offer with some stocks. Again, I was looking at that kind of things, right? Like investment and how to grow. So
Yeah.
I negotiated some stocks for the joining, and then I had to move to US because my job started here. And within couple of years there, I started to work with, those were the boom days. I could see so many startups. Just 95, 96, 97, around that time,
Boom,
startups
internet boom,
come and yeah,
internet boom.
internet
Yeah,
boom, and my stocks in the company also made 1 million, and
going
then
up.
I put that money into work, and I did not know how to manage big money, and then I consulted a banker, like an investment banker, and they said okay, they will manage that money, and I kept half of money for myself to manage, and half money I kept it, gave it to them to manage, and they depleted the whole thing, and I had my money, whatever I had saved. So I said, you are a professional, and I'm telling you to sell off, and they won't do that. And it
Wow.
is managed account. So
Mm.
uh, that day, that period, I made a decision that if I don't trust myself, I don't trust anybody else managing
Anybody.
my money. So to
Absolutely.
grow that money, you have to make sure that you know, uh, it's not a gut feeling. Like, when you say gut feeling, that is the input of so many earlier experiences, which gives you an instant answer for certain things. If you don't have an experience, you don't have that gut feeling, right?
Correct. Correct.
So with accumulated knowledge, I used to decide, okay, like these are the companies which I trust, which I know they are doing certain things which are important in the current situation. So I invest in those companies. Like that, how to invest in startups? Then I started to become a general partner in a VC fund and VC company, and then started to interview a lot of startup founders and to guide them, and then make a decision to invest into them. And this went on for a few years. And uh, my investment journey has been like that, like investing myself and then becoming a partner of a VC company and investing from there. And now I have my own VC company, and spun off a company from MIT to fund that, and doing that kind of
And
thing. So uh, during these times, my wife Maxine used to be in the background doing different kind of investments. Like she got into real estate investments,
right,
and she
right.
worked with a real estate agent and a broker. And she has a financial background, and so she was into doing that. And she started to identify, hey, we have some down payment for investing in this one. So let us do that. So she kept doing that. So both of us had different areas of expertise, and with the focus of right investment and managing them. Like investment is not only investing, right? You have to manage.
Manage
If you
it.
don't manage, it will deplete. Like the managed portfolio, which I lost $1 million, was because I did not manage myself.
Got it. Yeah,
You
I
have to
know.
understand how you manage your money.
And you have to get out at the right time, or
Yeah,
at least reasonable time, if
yeah,
not the right time.
yeah.
Otherwise,
And
you end up losing.
long-term investment is always a
Then it's good. You're going to be
good
fine,
thing.
regardless.
But
Real
the
estate is one of
long-term
them.
investment, you have to identify where that long-term investment is. That
Yes,
decision and management has to be done.
correct. See, you
So,
absolutely right. These are the things, right? There is quite a bit. See, in other words, what I'm trying to say is that, for instance, we both are so-called educated, right? Computer science. We both did computer science. Still, till date, I do investments. I am also into real estate. We bought properties. We just bought one in Orlando, a short-term rentals. So we are doing all that, but I'm having hard time trying to figure out every single time. Although I'm reasonably okay, I think, but why am I learning now? I'm supposed to be knowing all these 20 years because I'm educated. I'm like literate guy. Why am I learning now? And I learned welding. Why did I learn welding and not the one that I'm going to use in my life? Even if I'm poor or rich or whatever, you must know finance.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, so, like everything you said, right? If I'm 20-year-old guy, if I put away $1,000 in a good investment, I'm a millionaire today, right? So,
Yes.
I lot, lot of, I mean, you just put it in the savings account, there's nothing. I mean, I know how to save, but I just, if you keep it in the savings account, it doesn't do any good. In fact, you lose money due to inflation.
Yeah. The
Uh,
money is like fertilizer, like fertilizer smells and it rots if you don't put it into the field and grow crops.
then that becomes heavy bag. Otherwise, it's
Yes.
waste. So yeah, I mean, I, to add to everything you said, I think you are again, since you had that ability to, run businesses, selling insurances and whatnot, meaning you understood that your service has to be appreciated. Somebody has to pay you.
Yes.
Otherwise, you
Yes.
have no life. There is no
Yeah.
paycheck. You understood that's how you launched your own company in Singapore. You came over here, and although you had that pitfall, but you were able to withstand. And here you are with so many properties. I know at least three properties, at least to my knowledge. Um, and then, all these things, you build that sort of empire around you, which is the great success, right? Some point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of kids out there want to be you, and it's so complex to understand how to do all these things on their own. So,
Yes.
the guiding principles cannot be your subjects in the school. It's, that's good.
Yes.
You must have a decent GPS, don't get me wrong. But just having decent GPS and all that, it's not gonna take you to the promised land, is the
No.
message I'm trying to convey through you guys,
Yeah.
because your life, your success is there. There is no, they can see it. They can go to
Yeah.
LinkedIn, hopefully, and LinkedIn doesn't say much, but long story short, through this podcast, hopefully they get to know how you dealt with your fitness and finance and have a good family. What else you want in life?
Yeah.
Hey, so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you want. I mean, I think those are the, I mean, top three things that one must have in life. Um, and
Yes.
yes, you can have music and all these hobbies. Great, which is great. And even if you don't have it, it's not end of the world. But these, if you're like somebody, I was watching somebody's interview, the guy was saying, I made so much money. Six, what is it? 83% of his money so far went to hospitals
Huh. I would
because
rather
of all
give
kinds
that
of
to
issues.
charities instead of hospitals. If I'm
Hospital.
fit enough, I would use that money to, yeah, give it to the needy.
Needy people, for somebody's health who are not fortunate enough. And
Yes.
I mean, in other words, you worked so hard and you ruin your health to the point all your money you made through whatever you did is going back to hospitals. It's like, coming in, going out, right? So it's
Yes.
like, so, same with mental health, same with understanding finance. Like you said, example, you make hell lot of money, few $1 million, you put $1 million somewhere and gone.
Yeah.
So is it your fault? People say that's
It
your
was my
fault.
fault, but
People blame you because they say you did a stupid thing, but you didn't know any better. You see, when you
exactly.
gave it to the,
I
the private
trusted
investors,
trusted to
you
the
didn't know,
people who are supposed to be experts in that.
right? And you went with the flow,
Yeah.
and that's not the right flow. so, so in other
Yes.
words, you don't want to learn in a hard way at the cost of paycheck, at the cost of $1 million, right? So that's what I always
Yes.
say. When you go to the real world, if you don't have these intangible skills, we call it leadership, communication, yada yada, and then
Yes.
connect the dots. I mean, if a 21-year-old kid and he's saying you should connect the dots, he's like wondering where are the dots. So it's like, so you know what I mean. Not everybody can understand that language. We
Yeah.
use these
Correct.
buzzwords and throw at them. You got to be leader. So Gandhi is the
Yeah.
leader, and there is Steve Jobs is also leader. What the hell is all these leaders? So anyway, long story short, I think the process of understanding, if it happens from school days, at least high school, and
Mhm.
undergrad programs, to learn these things by doing it. For instance, you sold insurance.
Yes.
You do things. See, everything you
Yeah.
learn, is anybody is going to care about everything you learn? If nobody cares, do something about it.
Yes.
Otherwise, waste of degree. I mean, degree certificate, nobody looks at it.
Yes.
I mean, I have certificate, I don't even know where it is at. So it's like
Those
nobody
are
cares.
all like, your jacket to go into a decent place. They welcome you just looking at you, right? Like
That's it.
those are all the
Yeah,
gate.
I know who's
Yeah.
asking, hey, show me your degree certificate. Nobody's asking. But as a young kid, you must get the degree, right? Yes. I mean, that's the sad part of it. But long story short, um, so now I'm going to come to I mean, this is great. First of all, you share a lot of wisdom. I think these are the priorities, right? Again, I'm going to revisit, understanding your fitness, understanding finance, and having a good family. Hey, what else? Um, so now I'm going to turn into something fun. So let's
Mhm.
say, you you had something, is a piece of technology that would have made your life easier. I'll
Mhm.
give an example that I always give in every podcast. If I can go to India in half an hour, I can go commute every day, right? So
Yeah.
it's things like that. And I mean, that's a genuine thing because I'm telling you right now, since we came to this country, I came around the same time, 93.
Yeah.
The aeroplanes didn't change. Same time. It's taking same amount of time, 18 hours, and same
Yes. Yeah.
layout and all that nonsense. So,
Yes.
and you travel extensively quite a bit. You go to Japan. I used to go to Japan too. So
Yeah.
that thing didn't change. Gen AI, this, that, but people are talking about all these, but nobody's fixing this, airtime.
Yeah.
Um, what's something that you like to see?
Uh, yeah, I'm connecting the PC. It was
Oh, it's
losing
it's gonna
the
die.
power. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
no problem.
Okay. No. No back. Okay. Yeah. Like the technology uh, every day. Like in our generation, probably are the ones who have seen so many things which have changed, right? No generation has experienced the transitions from one technology to another, and so many things which are happening just in front of our eyes.
Yeah,
And now the new trend is artificial intelligence, which is going all over the place. But making use of that for the right reasons, right purposes, and applying that for making your life easier and more efficient and more effective. And don't become a slave to those technologies, right? So you still have to run. You cannot ask AI to clock your uh, fitness gear saying, okay, you have
yeah.
run that.
It runs for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So you
Yeah,
you have to put those things. So
correct.
and with all the conveniences coming in, take more time to health and fitness, and use the technologies which are available for you to enhance those things, like
100%.
giving you more time to do those things. uh, Find out that kind of technologies, then that's what I would see, that every time I see some new technology coming in, I have been in video compression and automation and other sensors industry
Correct.
technologies for a long time. And the way I used to apply those things are for taking out the guesswork from people and making things more efficient and more power efficient, as well as efficient in computing or decision making. And that type of technologies are very, very important, and not to fall into prey for those things to rule your life, but you can rule them. Uh,
100%. 100%. I mean, I was telling somebody this morning, I mean, I'm just to extend what you just said. I think it's getting to a point. See, when we started, right, when our journey coming to US and all that, we were a lot of human beings.
Yeah.
And we didn't have technology. We had what, block mode, and you know how it was, dial up and all that. So now we fattened the technology so bad, to the point where, not bad, good or bad, however you look at it, to the point where it's replacing us, right?
Yes.
So so now going forward, next cycle is, if you have a use case that helps the human being, you're going to be a $1 billion company. You're going to be a,
Yeah.
whatever, um, what is that word they use? Unicorn. So
Yeah.
meaning anything. For instance, see, AI can do everything like you said for fitness. Oh, I want to run. It give you all the information. You still have to run. It's not going to
Yeah.
run for you. So you still have to run.
Yeah.
So I want to learn, let's say, French. So yeah, it gives you all everything. It's everything, but you still have to learn. You still have to
Yes.
talk. So,
Yes.
or do anything that, I want a job, right? And I want money. I want money. Yes, it does tell you, oh, it gives you all the guidance, yada yada, but you still have to make money.
Yes.
So you still have to go and work somewhere.
Yeah.
So
You nailed that very appropriate thing that the technology has become so fat that it does everything, and human requirement is reducing, right?
correct,
So
reduced.
very soon that is going to happen. Like the governments have already started thinking about how to give minimum money for people to survive without
Yeah,
working, because
yeah,
they
yeah.
have nothing to do. They have no jobs to do because everything will
Absolutely.
be done by automation and robots and everything else. So they have to sustain people by giving a minimum amount of money for them to survive. That's
I
all.
know, I know. Elon
There
Musk
is
also
you
mentioned
don't
that.
there is no rich and poor, and all those things
Yeah,
will
yeah,
start
flat,
diminishing.
socialistic.
Yes.
So Elon Musk said that that's going to be a temporary phase where oh no, Mark Zuckerberg, you just give them money for some time
Yeah.
until we figure out how this thing is going to pan out and all that, right? So yeah, and uh, my son told me, you met him, Akhil. So
Yeah.
I can never forget. So we all used to go to Starbucks for Wi-Fi, right? You remember? That's how Starbucks
Hmm.
became big
Yeah.
brand, Wi-Fi. So now he's saying, in few years you go to Starbucks to meet people because you have Wi-Fi with you all the time, 24/7.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to Starbucks anymore just to connect a device. You are in the device. You are the device. You are living in the
Yes.
device, and you have connectivity around you. Your car, Tesla's,
Yeah.
car has every connection. Your phone has connection. Laptop has. So what is missing? Human being, because especially youth,
Yeah.
they're so drawn into their devices. They don't see, look around, and
Yeah.
so as a result, they need people. So what they do, they go to Starbucks to meet people. So that's a good way to
Yeah.
look at it. I guarantee you something like that, if not Starbucks,
Yes.
something like that would happen
We
where
used
you
to hang
got
out
human
to
connection.
brainstorm or just to relax and to exchange ideas. We used to hang out in so many places after work. But nowadays, people don't. They don't
Oh,
have any time for
no,
hangout.
immediately they go to WhatsApp, right? They go
Yeah.
to WhatsApp or Instagram or God knows whatever that is. See, other example I'll give you. You travel a lot, right? See, when flight lands, especially me, you know how I am. So I used to make a lot of friends, or at least get to know people and make jokes, and get on the flight. When you leave, you say bye, hug, all this, and then nice to meet you, take phone numbers. Now the flight is ting, like the guy is about to land, they're already powered
Yes.
on. The guy is standing in the phone. He doesn't even know that you exist next to you. The
Yes.
guy is, excuse me. Nobody cares. It's like, okay, well, okay, oh yeah, you want to go? Okay, go. I got to get
Yes.
back to my phone. So it's just sad.
It is
It's
sad.
just sad that the human touch
People
is
are becoming slave to the technology rather
not
than
just that.
using
That's
them for
that,
the.
and there is no human touch.
Yes.
It's if I have a device, if I have and and then I have Netflix, I'm good to go. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I don't need people anymore. So that, yeah. Anyway, So, sir, thank you very much. This is extremely informative, and I sincerely hope the audiences learn, or listen to your sound bites, and then help themselves. And yeah, again, request to them is like this podcast and also subscribe. You get a lot of these your way, and Satya, again, sincere thanks to you for spending time. I know you're a busy man, you travel a lot. And we'll do a sequel. And the next time
Yes,
we'll do a sequel on, your VC company, how,
yeah,
you're doing it and how that's impacting the entrepreneurship.
yes, certainly.
So we can do that, as a sequel of that. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope this discussion was of some use to somebody. And if there are any questions out of this, or if somebody needs to learn something, I am available to take it
Thank you.
further.
So they can ask in the comments. We will
Yeah,
provide contact information with Satya's permission if he's okay with it
yeah,
via DM. We don't want to put it in the public forum,
yeah.
and then you guys can take it from there.
I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Thanks.